I was working in New York, and it actually the job I was offered to come, but the job wasn't offered to me in the beginning. It was offered to someone I worked for. He said, I will not go if I can't take Isaac with me. And so then we spoke about it, we laughed about it. I was like, no, I'm not going there, you're crazy. And he was like, no, come on, let's go. And he says, at least meet the people. And I said, okay, I will meet the people. To make a long story short, I committed myself to going, and Bob said he wasn't gonna go. He just didn't show up. He just said, no, I'm not going at the last minute. And I got on the plane and came here.
See the man who won't stay for you, getting all the piece of pie for your wife. Everybody wanna know how it feels. Everybody wanna see what it's like. My baby wanna be a queen. Well, alright, we all deserve.
First impression, besides cold, dark, and polluted, I didn't know it. I didn't have any impression. I was shocked. I was culturally shocked. I felt like I had gone back in time. I made a decision because I think it was a big decision, and in my mind, I said I will give it some time. I'll stay a year at least, if everything goes right. But a year, but just one day at a time. So I never took it about, I thought about year, but I thought about also like one day, and see how it went like that. I thought that when I got here, that there was so much possibility. There was so much that could be done. There was so much that could be introduced. And there was so much that I can probably be helpful at in bringing something or achieving something, and feeling like I really, it was open. I think that I wasn't thinking about doing anything. I was just thinking of being, doing the best I could for the company I work for. And as I did that, then I realized that maybe in the future I might just do something on my own. When I first came for the company, I mainly concentrated on the food, and some things of service and food-wise. If I worked in an American restaurant or Italian restaurant or Southwestern restaurant, it doesn't matter. I tried to bring some creative food to the places I worked, and that was basically it. And to try to source the products that were needed for the job and the equipment, which was very difficult at that time in '95. I remember in the first place that I opened in Bluzinska, Correa's, and 8 years ago, for example, it was funny because when we first opened, there was no uniform. Most of the wait staff used to dress like me, and they used to always talk with guests, and I got that from me. I talked with everybody, and that kind of friendliness and openness. We would go in day by day and just say, look, guys, you got to talk to people. You got to say hi. You got to say bye. You got to treat people like people. And never say no to a guest. A lot of stuff. Which is it's in a tough environment because from what I understand, it was different before. You don't get too close to people. You don't, people want to be left alone. And I think that one of the, I, for example, will never take credit for this because I am how I am, with people. I like to talk with everybody. I like to, hug people. I'm just like that. But also, I think that, we've gotten some pretty good people, young people, that are also open and want, and understand that you're important, and that if they treat you nice, that you'll come back, and that is important for the business, and it's just the right way to be. you know, and so I think that, you know, we just get sometimes lucky with the people. I think maybe because we treat them a certain way, myself and my partner, we treat them almost like, you know, not friends, but we're open with them, and we try to listen as much as possible to them. And so, and they see how we interact with guests, you know. Sometimes my staff tells me to get out of the restaurant because I give too much stuff away for free, or, you know, I'm always trying to please somebody so much that, you know, they're like, Isaac, get away, you're just causing problems, you know. So, and I think they pick up on that, you know. It was really funny because the way things happen, I really wanted to have a Mexican place, and maybe we'll do it one day. We wanted to open a Mexican taqueria, and we were looking for the place, and the place came up next door, and this place came up, and UDC, for example, upside down cake, we call it UDC, it was just an idea. But then that place came up, and the guy said, by the way, I have the place next door. And I was like, wow, it would be cool to take both of them, and we have this idea. And then, so the idea started as we already had these ideas in it, and now we needed the people. And now we needed the people that we can kind of, you know, convince that this might work. And so this place, we spend a lot of time on it because, you know, my friend Suki, which is the baker, which is a really good guy, and I know him for years, and that was one of the pieces I said, I called him in London, and I was like, Suki, if you come, then I'll do it. And he said, oh, I'd love to be a part of it. So it was the idea, then the person, because I don't think if Suki would have not done it, you know, would have not joined the project, maybe I would have thought twice. So I had that person. And then, and some other places like that. I had a friend that also came to do Black Market in the beginning, and Corner Burger. You know, we had a couple of people that tried, but then we found kind of the right guy at the end. But we had the idea. We tried to find the people. We convinced brainwash the staff that it'll work, and that's how it went. Montalto is it's very one of my favorite places myself personally, because there's a lot of things, you know, that I always wanted to do pizzeria in Moscow, and my vision for Montalto was different than it is now, because I thought that if I did a pizzeria in Moscow, I would just do it like, you know, no design, you know, like very, you know, hole in the wall place. And but then I understand Moscow too, that you can't sometimes just do this hole in a place that has to look pretty. They have to, you know. But I always wanted to make pizzas. That's it. I didn't have any idea to make pasta, to make any of this stuff. I just wanted to have a nice pizzeria with 2 or 3 salads. And then I had to change it because, you know, we're in Moscow, people like to eat this, people like to eat that. So from that idea, it turned into what it is. And it was something that I, you know, because one, I love pizza. And I thought that, you know, of all the pizza I ate in Moscow, I thought that I can make a product, we can deliver a product that was a little different. And I think that we accomplished that, you know. It's not everywhere you can get a pizza like Montalto. Montalto is very close to me because it's named after my best friend, which is a pizza crazy guy, and he loves pizza. First of all, you got to understand there was 4 places that opened in less than a year. So this is difficult, and they're all different. I think that it's not a place to stop. I think it's just a start, and we have to go further and further and further. We constantly change people, like chefs. I constantly drive chefs crazy because I'm always change, and I don't like it, and do this. So I'm constantly doing that, and we don't rest and we don't sleep. My main thing is like, guys, we have to greet people, we have to say hi, we have to listen to people, we have to constantly smile, we have to constantly listen to what people say. If there's a problem, correct it right on the spot, you know, things like that. Basically, we try to like not beat people up. Although sometimes it could be like that. That you have to say something tough, but most of the time we try to be more encouraging. Try to get to say hi to everybody. Try to get to ask everybody, was everything all right? Those are like little fundamental things that, sometimes people won't say, or sometimes people will say, but it's not the point. It's the point that you try to jump over that barrier, right? And like make yourself open. The most important advice is to get yourself a concept that you believe in and some other people believe in, and that you can make sure that you can, stick to that plan, and then just be ready to to invest a lot of or most of your time into that.
See the money